Make the story short, he was found in the backside of the wilderness all alone until a burning bush that attracted his attention, was beginning of his the beginning of the activation of his calling. He went closer, investigated, and he heard a voice. And the voice said, "Take off thy shoes, Moses, for the ground whereon thou standest is holy ground." And so Moses, became the savior of Israel for 40 years in the wilderness. God talked to him mouth to mouth in the wilderness. Thus we have the 5 books of the Bible, and went back to Egypt where he came from and was educated with a new mission, with a spiritual mission that came from God. In fact, I think the new Moses and the new Pharaoh was not able to recognize him by that. But maybe, if history can prove us right, that maybe he also was able to recognize him, although he was maybe the son of the old Pharaoh. But nevertheless, Moses came back with a mission to free his people from bondage. The miracles and the power and might of God was behind him. And Moses was able to deliver his people out of bondage, went into the wilderness, walked right into the Red Sea, parted by the power of God, and killed all of their debtors, the Egyptian pursuers, the Egyptian army, were all buried under the sea when the sea came down on them. And the last Israelite was able to go on to the other shore. And that was the mission God gave to Moses. And I think even Moses didn't know about that. But when the time came, when God uses someone as an instrument, that activation of that calling will just happen. It happened with Paul the Apostle, who was Saul the persecutor. It happened to me. I was born one night in Tamayong when my mother saw a vision. And that vision that my mother saw, that I heard being told over and over again while I was growing up, was that he saw a vision of God in a cloud. And he heard a voice, and she heard a voice, and the voice said, "That's my son." I grew up knowing nothing about that, but I heard those stories over and over again on the table while we are eating, before going to sleep. While I was growing up, I heard my mother and father talk about that many, many times, without me knowing that one day I will be called into this very special ministry to become the appointed son of the Almighty Father for the salvation of His people. So now